no doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Where are my most beautiful queens in the house? Where are my most beautiful queens in the house?
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamilah. Welcome to the Queen's Address. Welcome into the Queendom. Today is a very, very, very special day. I am here with Brother Jay of the XClan. Okay, Brother Jay, welcome.
Peace and blessings, Goddess. How are you?
Peace and blessings. Oh man, I'm great. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're very busy, so this means a lot.
Oh, take my time for the people, man. So good.
I appreciate that.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. And so the Ohio Black Expo is going down this weekend.
Yeah,
okay, the whole city is buzzing about you being here. And so how do you feel about being a part of the expo this year?
I'm honored, man, to still be an honorable mention. You know what I'm saying? To come here after 30 years. I think we've been here probably, the last 30 years. I haven't been out here to perform solid, especially for a solid black event. So, I'm geeked.
Yeah. Well, I know we're all excited because it's kind of like in alignment with the music that you all put out, like legendary hip hop songs about supporting the community and supporting black owned businesses and protecting the community. And you know, the expo they always stand on those values.
That's correct.
And so I think that you're like perfect for what they represent, you know.
Yes.
And so it's exciting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so I'm going to move over to, I'm a hip hop fan, as everybody in the Queendom knows. And so I want to ask a hip hop question.
Please.
The XClan.
Yes.
Come on now. How did the XClan start? I heard a couple of stories that it was called something else before it was called the XClan, and you all came up in Brooklyn or went to high school together or something like that?
Well, myself and Sugar Shaft, God bless, he grew up as my DJ. Even before I really was into rhyme, we were DJing together doing parties and things of that nature. So I started branching out in talent shows outside of the block party scene. Block parties were very big in New York. You know, block both sides of the block off by permit and everybody come out celebrate. And if you're DJing or mic controlling, you know what I'm saying, that's how you build your legend. So, you know, riding the levels of that, taking it to your high school, showing you what you got, becoming that kind of champion. Shaft rode with me all through those levels. When we got out of high school, we were introduced to the Black Watch movement. This was a hip-hop, it wasn't a hip-hop organization, it was a black nationalist organization, more so built around youth. So Brother Lumumba Carson, Professor X, he would gather the eldest children and put them on events to be on point. So say they were doing something in Prospect Park or at a club in New York, we would be security. Under the guidance of different, you know, martial arts schools that were part of the Black Watch. We were learning self-defense so we can defend the community and have safety, because it was so crazy back then with hip-hop. You go to a hip-hop party, you might not come back. So we wanted to start to be a kind of force to say, look, protect hip-hop, and then start to venture into making the lyrics better, what was coming out, because the problems of today were the problems of yesterday.
Right.
You know, the sexual lyrics, the materialism, they were all looking for gimmicks. And if you're miseducated, then you go for the simplest thing, which is the shiny car, the prettiest girl and the thing. You don't know to talk about principles and virtues and things of that nature. So it was a grand opportunity for me to say, look, there's no builders here that have, you know, that are putting out the voice. Now, I was in spoken word after being a DJ, so I kind of combined the elements to make a funkin' lesson type of situation. Shaft and I, now we're DJ, MC, we're calling ourselves the XClan to represent a spokesman for Generation X.
Right.
But now joining the movement, we learn different principles. Now we're saying, look, the elders here, the young heads is here, we're meeting at the crossroads. Let the X represent the crossroads. We are the clan of the crossroads, several generations, dimensions of thought, and then we moved on, and the rest was history.
Wow. And so I want to talk about these names.
Yes.
I'm going to read a couple of names. Professor X, the overseer.
Yes.
Paradise, the architect.
Yes.
Sugar Shaft, the rhythm provider.
Yes.
Now, you are grand verbalizer, funkin' lesson, brother J. How did you guys come up with your names?
Well, the thing was we had to earn, as far as who we were. You know what I'm saying? So before we were introduced to the public, these were positions that we were earning. Mm-hmm. Professor X was more me and Shaft. Oh, Shaft and I, we named him this because he was always so mental.
Right.
And we were heavy in comic books at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The very X-Men that are in comic books were like mutants that were fighting for rights to be respected amongst regular humans. So I kind of felt that we were in the same position, like we're black people fighting for rights in the country, and we should be treated like humans. So it's like, this dude comes off like PX. He's gathering all of us in this place. He got this movement thing going on. So we named him Professor X.
Wow.
Okay, and then Architect Paradise was carving and always crafting and building. So we named him Architect Paradise as the builder. Shaft, we didn't want him to be DJ Shaft.
Right.
Because we're not rappers.
Right.
He provides the rhythms.
Okay.
So he would be the first rhythm provider of our camp. We have many, but he's the first. The grand verbalizer is the master of ceremony. So as someone would say MC whoever, grand verbalizer is the orator, the builder.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's right. Funkin' lesson is the style, combining the funk of the acquired and the lessons of the elders, the lessons of our ancestors, and the brother of justice, Brother J.
Brother J. Man, listen, incredible. And what was interesting, I had a whole vision of the XClan kind of maybe inspiring the Wu-Tang Clan. If you think about Professor X and Tony Starks and RZA, and you think of all the names they use from comic books.
Yes.
So was comic books just is it like New Yorkers just love comic books?
Well, I think it was more of the ages that they were signing us.
Okay.
Because all of us were teenagers.
Youth. Hip hop is a youth movement.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is.
Yeah.
So we were all into Saturday morning cartoon. That's why you see all these names. And really that whole era of the 90s, they were like superheroes. De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
They are superhero names. It wasn't like John Smith. Ted whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was like, my name is Q-Tip and I do this, and Jungle Brothers.
Right, groups, crews.
Correct. So we were
Rocksteady
making.
It was all we had to be crewed up.
Yes.
To be taken seriously.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So they were like champions, and you earned your pseudonym. You earned your title to come out and say, yes, I'm the grand verbalizer. And when I speak, you understand why I'm named this. If you didn't match your style, then you really didn't last that long.
Exactly.
That's how it was
your whole
back
crew
then.
would get clowned and stuff.
Basically that.
Now I wanted to ask you too. You mentioned earlier you started out DJing.
Yes, I did.
So I had a conversation with Mixmaster Ice about the stab scratch. Now, do you have a favorite type of scratch? Because I think the stab scratch and like the cross-faded, do you have a favorite type that you like to look for when you're listening to music?
I like chops.
Okay.
As far as controlled chops, where I'm combining them with transform, playing with the rhythm, opening it up. So I don't believe in the phono line chops with the transforming. I feel that you master the fader both hands with a clean cut. So all of my scratches would be hard chops and playing with rhythms, creating rhythms, opening it up. So
that was your favorite?
That was my favorite.
And you still like to hear that sound?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes, it shows masterhood of what you're doing.
Right, absolutely. And so now my favorite XClan song is Funkin' Lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And so my sister and I was telling you off camera, my sister and I made a dance routine.
Yes.
With that song. We used to watch Living Color.
Yes.
And so we wanted to be fly girls.
All right.
And shout out to my sister Malika, but we used to make we may have choreography and everything. But do you have a favorite song? I guess like a favorite XClan song or songs or an album.
It's hard to call because music is like your children. You wouldn't say you favor your last born over your first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, time promotes the happiness around a specific thing. I enjoyed Funkin' Lesson, just creating it, because it was a collage of records and stuff that I liked. So the Knee Deep that we used, the Rapper Dapper Snapper as the drums, going into theme from the Black Hole and the breaks, and then moving, molding Professor's speaking parts.
Right.
Because he wasn't an MC. He was
but
more.
He had that voice.
So I was like, let's expand it with spoken word and lyrics, and then George and them singing in the background. Those are expensive records today, sampling wise. But it was worth it because it touched people, like how you're saying. People were creating routines. We go to the colleges, they're doing steps to our music and stuff like that. So, it was worth the sacrifice to go and dig in the crates like that for that kind of a record.
Right. And it had that George Clinton vibe on it.
All day.
And so my dad was a musician.
Yes.
My dad used to play, he was a tour musician, rhythm guitar.
Okay.
And so we had records and we could identify some of the samples. And my sister and I would dance because we weren't really allowed outside the house too much. We could a little bit, but it was heavily regulated and guarded.
Correct.
But I love that song because you're teaching. Like you're talking about history and who we were before we were slaves.
Yes.
And it's over a funky beat.
Yes.
And
the Funkin' Lesson.
Yeah, the Funkin' Lesson. And I just wonder if that's why a lot of people kind of said, okay, XClan is a militant group.
Right.
Or they're, gonna get our children to learn about things we're not ready for them to learn yet.
Right.
And so do you think that you guys were miscategorized, or do you feel that the XClan was a militant rap group?
That's a good question, but my thing has always been this: they could never define us. That's why we had the crazy titles. I said, the embarrassing thing about hip hop was that they had a label for everything, but when you come positive, they automatically, that's the Black Panthers of hip hop, or this and that. Black Panthers never had hip hop. So why would you do that? Because now you're making it like we're communists. You mislabeled the Black Panthers back in the days. You mislabeled so many other movements that were just like, look, man, this is unfair, this is unjust.
Right.
And now here we come under the radar. We weren't with any other cliques. We weren't with a Def Jam and this, that, and the other. We had our own label and brand and our own artists, our own touring routes and everything. And they didn't have a category for us, even to this day right now. Putting out this documentary and doing these soundtracks and things of this nature, it's like, where you going to put my music?
Exactly.
Next to Sexy Red, next to...
Come on now, tell the truth.
Lil' Kim, where you going to put me?
Listen.
You feel me? The Black Star come out with an album, I ain't even see promotion on it.
Right.
Black Dog just did a project, I ain't even see the promotion and the excitement. All of them, yes, people like this. I said, where are they going to shine where so many people are putting promotion into light porn?
Exactly.
Okay, that's light porn. If anything,
industry plants.
If you can't sing it to your mama,
then why is it allowed to be on the
why
radio
is it
on
the public, like you're saying?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Like I try to touch into the radio from time to time. I have I might catch some heat for this, but I just really think that if you listen to the radio all the time, then you're programmed.
Correct.
And if you're watching and TV and you're listening to the same thing over and over again, you'll think it's hot because
Correct.
that's all you see.
Yes.
And when you step outside of what's prescribed to you by mainstream media, mainstream radio,
yes,
then you won't know who to listen to unless you're told.
Correct.
And so I think what you all did, it wasn't a threat to us because I want to say you all, KRS, Public Enemy, I learned more about Black history from you guys than I did in my own school.
Right.
And you guys weren't afraid. And I think that's why they tried to label you guys revolutionaries and militant and dangerous and all this stuff, because they were like, okay, we want to keep them docile.
Yes, because
we want them to stay consumers. We want them to stay mentally.
Yes, because
food.
Yes, because intelligence is not a good sale to miseducated people.
Right.
All right?
Right.
We never got past the fact that, they were taking out grammar in schools from way back.
Right.
So you imagine we come in with all these heavy vocabulary words and, cultural connection words, you know what I'm saying, to lead people into, here's a popcorn trail to start studying the Ifa or studying comedic science or studying whatever. And they're saying, huh? I want to hear something like rap and the cat and the snap and the rap. So I became a black sheep to regular hip hop because if you listen to that music, it was very primitive. And I'm not disrespecting any artists, but they were following instructions back then, like, hey man, keep it easy so I can market it. Kid and play, do a funky dance, and let people be able to do that, and then I can get you shows doing whatever. Instead of kids saying, yo man, I come from an impoverished neighborhood. I want to kick a positive song or two out of my 10 albums. I don't always want to be, shuck and jive. We didn't. Some people didn't have a position or even a platform to say no. Because you saying, hey, I got in this game to make money, and if you telling me my flat top and my polka dots or whatever it is going to get it now, the difference with that with XClan was we were garbed like this fighting in the streets before record deals. All right, the record company was a fly on the wall looking at us in the newspapers, standing up for our communities. We didn't come in here and say, hey, this is a snazzy hat and here's some beads, somebody will like it. This was our living. You know what I'm saying?
Lifestyle.
Correct.
And you guys were protecting the community and everything. It was what you were about.
Correct.
But I think that's why it resonated with so many of us. Who had parents that were in the revolution and things like that. And I was telling Butch and Sherry, like my father used to make us sit down and watch Dr. Khaled on Donahue.
Oh man, God bless him.
He would make us sit down and say, listen, this film, you're going to learn about Medgar Evers. And he would have, because we weren't learning it in school. And I think that because you all had a different tone, even though it was still entertaining because the beats were so funky. I mean, the beats were coming with it. So we could dance and learn something at the same time. They said, okay, we got to stop this. We got to tone this down. And that's why I think now today, when you hear people that are hip hop fans say, okay, I think the music nowadays that you hear on the radio has been weaponized.
Yes, it is.
Do you feel that the new music somehow, in some circles and some messaging, has become weaponized?
I think the business is weaponized. Okay? When I offer you a deal that there's no way out but to do what I say,
come on now,
that's the weapon. Okay, the artist now has the choice to say, hey, I don't want to write for you. But for some reason that's enticing. So that means it's programming the mind to do something that is off. All right, you want to talk about songs where you smoking on somebody else's life and you proud of that? I just smoked one of the homies from around the way, a couple blocks down. I'm gonna make me a bomb ass song and just disrespect his family, his whole community, and whatever the hell. And that's supposed to be entertaining. You're gonna put that business out in front of the whole country to be like, hey, this is how we do it in our town. This is how savage I am. And I'm saying, who is held accountable for that at the end of the day? When they lock you up, you become another part of the layer of the problem, the prison problem that we have. So y'all just jumping into the pit now? What's happening to Young Thug should never have happened. If you got the talent, homeboy, you don't have to glorify anything but just that. I'm talented. Why did it have to go into lyrics that now is like crucify you where you're at? They're just reading like, hey, this guy told us everything in the rhyme. And I can match this to evidence where we've been watching them for 10 years do what the hell he's saying in these things. And this guy is influenced. If you're selling millions of records, if our people are programmed, they're cloning you.
There's in there a movie, Clone Tyrone. It was one in every city or two in every city.
Correct.
Same chicken.
And that's accurate to what's
music,
happening.
Just
Correct.
anything toxic, just leave it in the hood.
Whatever works, I'm following that. If you're on that brand, you wearing those kind of shoes, I'm buying that.
Up, though.
Hey,
and
man.
Our people keep eating it up too.
Because they want to know the recipe to success.
Yeah.
And they feel like cloning whoever is successful is the way, and that's not what's happening. Again, it's miseducation. They don't know anything about knowledge of self. They don't even know how to trust themselves. That's the weapon against us, to me. Wow. Indeed.
No, that's incredible. Thank you for that. And so I wanted to ask you, just going back to, we touched a little bit about women in hip hop. So Isis was down with the XClan crew, and she was an incredible MC. And I was gonna say, do you think that she should make a comeback? Because I just feel like there's a lack of creativity with a lot of the women in rap right now.
Well,
it's just more the same, you know.
I don't think that any female positive has a choice out here or a chance out here until the people rebel against what's happening right now. There's no platform for a positive artist to stay.
Right.
You look at someone like Lauryn Hill, who had more success than XClan, ISIS, or whatever we're talking about right now, and they don't even know how to treat her. They don't even know how to say, yo, take time to heal and come back when you're ready. We will always support you. They heckled her when she was going through mental issues, trying to adjust in life with this great success. And you may want to spend time with family. You may want to do different things. Your group is doing crazy stuff. Nobody's talking about how the Fugees, how is Praz a federal informant?
Listen.
How is
come on, Brother Jay.
running for
Brother Jay.
president in Haiti getting shot and we don't know what's happening. So imagine her being in a group like that.
Like that.
And having to say, hey, Lauren, come on back out. So she goes to the guitar and they say, hey, that's not what we wanted. We wanted pop music. I remember people booing her.
Lauren?
You know, and heckling her when she was doing the guitar sets and
no
stuff.
Way.
Yeah, because they wanted to hear the pop music.
Wow.
All right, this was the part of, so it got so savage around her. I can imagine, like, dog, I can't even. When I saw the guitar thing, I was like, wow, female Bob Marley. I would love to see this.
I would love to see that.
And that was one of the sisters' favorite albums. But the pop market, they can't enjoy that.
Yeah.
They looking at it like, oh, she's trying to play Tracy Chapman or something. And I'm saying, no, she's exploring the dimensions of her talent.
Exactly.
So the industry doesn't even know how to categorize the new or the niche.
Right.
So why would she be comfortable? Now let's go back to ISIS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
ISIS was part of Blackwash movement. She wasn't part of XClan.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, she would have been with me lyrically, and we would have been doing whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So she was part of Blackwash. She sacrificed. She could have been a model. She could have been in house music, a top artist, because she was doing house music. That's why her album was tempo like that. That's the way they produced her. I wanted to produce her like, give Isis a verbal milk to play with. Give her a funkin' lesson. Let's just dig in that kind of a crate. So the producers around her weren't that creative at the time. I think they were trying to open up the branch for other producers in the movement to help out, and they didn't find the right frequency to me for her. So I don't really think that they've heard Isis the way that she can be heard.
Right.
But even if she was to come back, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know, she's not going to be taking off her clothes.
No.
She's not going to be dropping it.
She wouldn't dare. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't put Rhapsody on the top level.
Yeah.
I feel she's better than Cardi B.
She's lyrically a menace.
Yeah, but now
I would love to hear her rap about making a smoothie or gardening or what, like anything grown up.
But I'm saying, but that's what the market thinks when they think about positive. Why can't she just bust?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
even
just
if she
rap
wasn't
about what she's doing.
correct, but every time they think about me, they say, "Oh, sun, moon, stars, pyramids, and whatever the case may be." No, I'll spit a lyric that's clean that'll destroy your whole crew or whatever you have.
Yeah. Because
y'all all rap the same way, one-dimensionally. If I take you into 5 dimensions and bring you back to reality,
and they can't let her take all of them down.
Correct. Because their business is behind them.
Yeah, their business.
When you look at a Little Kim, you're not just burning her. You're taking out the production team, the people behind her, the marketing, everything.
PR reps. And
they can't allow that.
And the agents and
the So that's what a person is battling.
Yeah.
So when we send
vultures.
Yeah, exactly. We send Lin Q into the battle with a sword and a shield, and the whole army's coming at her, 300,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, they want their jobs, and you're talking about rap.
Yeah.
That would be unfair.
Right.
All right. Now, how it could work is if, like the movement, there was a central of purpose. So Lynn is saying, look, we're standing up for decency in hip hop. We're tired of seeing sisters sexualized.
That's right.
Let's do some bomb ass music right now and start to rebel against all those that are talking negative. Now her album has purpose. Now her lyrics have fire behind them. And now we're making bang ass songs along that thing. That's the only way.
Yeah.
And now the people have to get behind her, not because she's pretty, not because she can rap fast or slow or whatever.
She's saying something.
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think they've even absorbed 70% of what she can do.
Wow.
You know, she didn't have that opportunity to me, and that's why when the movement broke up and everybody started going in different ways, she was rapping with Venom and different people because, you know, she come from New York City, so she has grit in her.
Right.
But even then, I don't think she was living out a full percentage of her style with that. It's just as like, I want to feel the grit. You was in the movement. You were in the hardest of the grit.
Right.
We are the soldiers. People be playing.
Yeah, definitely.
And you don't realize that until you leave, until you get into the world. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you have to graduate and move on with what you learned from a movement. You don't stay in school forever.
That's right.
You feel me?
That's right.
So at some point, it's like, okay, you're leaving from here. You got the skills, you trained, you did with different things. What are you going to do with it?
Absolutely.
Some people just say, hey, I put it in the box. It's a good memory. I'll pull the skills out when I need them. Some people live it out. She chose to do that and go into film and different things and express her creativity in a different way. And I don't have any argument. I protect her as if she's on the front line with me.
Yes, sir.
To this day.
Well, shouts to Isis.
Shouts
to Isis. We love her.
Indeed. Link Q. Blessings.
Kind of you touched on it a little bit earlier about being a protector of the community. And so I did my research and found out that you were an activist as well. Can you talk about, we talked about the Black Watch movement.
Yes.
You're doing some work in LA, like human rights activist work out in LA. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on out there?
Well, when I started out in LA, I was doing a work program where I was taking members of our order and our circle and bringing them for construction training, audio school training, so on and so on. So we were trying to create a work program. You know, I wanted to kick it off simple because if you try to do too much sometimes, you know, it's just
something's gonna suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know, and then you got the human factor to deal with when you build things. You know, it could be a good idea, but once you put it in another human's hands, purple becomes pink.
Yes, sir.
Blue becomes green.
Yes, sir.
So it was an experiment for me as well, in my leadership role, to say, well, if I'm continuing this music, we'll have to build our own label.
Right.
Because who's going to sign something that's going to topple over everything else that's happening on their brand? But if I'm a wing and a partner, then I can be a good business partner and say, just give me my side for my people, and I don't have to dish your best artist because they're talking about booty and cars and whatever.
Right, smacking.
I don't want to compete with people that are on the same squad.
Exactly.
So the job program is, we have one place, a person builds up, we link you into construction or put you in the audio school. So you're either learning how to be a better engineer for us. I don't care if you're an MC or whatever. You're going to master all elements. So you're going to the audio school so you can learn how to mix. Because if you're an artist in the studio, you can't be throwing the whip on the engineer. Turn the knob faster, do this. You got to know what that is.
Right.
You may have to be the engineer on your own project to start it off. You may not have a budget to pay an engineer.
Right.
So I was starting the young artists off on that. Like, when you go to work and you come home and you got to pull something out of your check for your creativity, you know what it's like now to propose something to a label. Why does a label have to hand you money? Because you think you fresh. Are you an investment for someone to be able to write a loan and say, here, here's $50,000, go in the studio and do whatever? So when you work hard every day to put and self-invest into yourself, you kind of humble yourself a little bit.
Absolutely.
And then your material starts to step up a little harder, like, yo, I'm rapping so somebody can hand me $200,000. I'm worth it.
Right.
Different.
Right.
And then you can't curse and carry on like that, not in my camp.
No.
Okay?
Definitely.
So now, that's not curbing you, you know, your talent to say you're lesser than MC, whatever, because you can't curse or whatever. That's making you better.
Yeah.
Now you're multi-generational as far as you can touch. You can touch that elder, you can touch the parent that doesn't want the kid to hear crazy shit, and then you can touch the child as well to say, yo, I'm allowed to listen to those lyrics in my house.
Exactly.
You know how many Muslim sisters or Israelite brothers and, you know, all the other faiths that happen within blackness come and say, yo, your music was the only music I was allowed to play in my house.
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to this and that because he was
It was
cursing.
toxic, exactly.
And he was egomaniac and talking about things that would inspire me.
And robbing a bank and selling
already
drugs and like that's toxic.
And I didn't write my music to do that. That's
Right.
how I live.
Exactly.
So I said there's a different audience. So we constantly were trying to tell the labels, like, there are other kinds of people. You look at one side of the street when you talk about black people, but you're not looking on the other side. The hard workers, the people that don't want to live a toxic lifestyle.
Yeah.
We don't want to listen to it because of that. We live in it.
Right.
All that stuff they're describing is on our streets every day. Why would I want to keep hearing it over and over? It's amazing to your people.
Right.
Because these are tales from the village while they're living in the hills.
Exactly. And sometimes we want to escape from what we see.
Correct.
Like I was thinking about one of my favorite albums. I'm a hip hop head, and so one of my favorite albums for hip hop is Illmatic. But I was thinking about my favorite album, and it's not even a hip hop album. It's Songs in the Key of Life.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm. And even if you're having a bad day, if you're depressed, if you're sad, you can put on a Stevie Wonder album.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what you see in your community.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And you can escape whatever you're dealing with, whether it's your boss at your job or whatever. And so music, you want to rely on it for different, like if it's a baby shower or a family reunion, we put on Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Correct.
It creates a vibration. And I think XClan got labeled so much, militant or, angry, or because there was a vibration that y'all tapped into. There was a frequency.
Yes.
And it's something that still goes on. And we saw a little bit with Kendrick and, Good Kid, Mad City.
Yes.
And even when J. Cole, like you still hear it. There's an undertone.
Right.
I think everyone kind of labels it as conscious rap now.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think it's called progressive
hip hop now.
Yes.
Yeah, progressive hip hop.
I think that's what the label that they said now.
I know it keeps changing. It's ever changing. It's ever evolving. I'm hoping.
It's weird.
It's something else. But one thing I always loved about the XClan was your voice. Like you have a very unique, outstanding sounding rapper voice. And I was gonna say, do you have like a top 3 of MCs of your top 3 rappers with the best voice?
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Only MCs, no singers?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's a delivery that comes with delivery and a cadence and
Chuck D's voice is unique.
I love Chuck D.
All right. And I learned that Chuck D's voice comes from Son of Berserk.
Okay. A lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah. See, if you look back into Sons of Berserk and you listen to those lyrics, you'll hear a lot of Chuck's tones. It's almost like, I tell cats, MCs are like reverends or pastors in black church. Mm-hmm. There's a tone. Some pastors can sing, some pastors can harmonize certain things. Chuck has one of those strong preacher verses like a Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I have a dream. So Chuck has a militant version of his voice to me. You know what I'm saying? I love his voice. And then I like Jada Kiss voice.
I love Jada Kiss. Did you see the verses?
Yes, that was ill.
I was so excited
to see that. That was a good underdog, from the underdog slap
Shout out to
whatever
Yonkers.
was going on.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yonkers is like Brooklyn to me, uptown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I like the New York
accent,
black mafia Italian
Yeah.
Swag
what you doing?
That he has that.
I love it. I look for it.
I love that. It's almost cinematic to a degree. Like you could just picture, like, wow, the area you live in, you are a part of the grain of the city, and I deal with that.
Yeah.
I guess one more. I would have to give it up to KRS.
KRS, the teacher.
Yeah, very powerful show voice. Very, it's just master showman. When I was coming up, man, he was the monster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He never stopped being that. I love his vocal, man. And if I was 3, I would have to salute those 3. And, not to put them over anybody else, but they do
no
have
particular order. Yeah.
People like Sadat X has an ill voice.
Yes. I like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
like
Snoop
he's got
Dogg
a smooth, I was thinking about Ecstasy from Houdini,
yes.
and a very distinct voice that we know. I know when they within the first couple notes, Ice Cube.
Yes.
That's
Ice Cube was another one.
Yeah.
Very good with the California twang, but he has his own unique side of it. Yes. All of NWA. Eazy-E's voice.
Yes.
MC Ren was ill.
Yeah.
And these were good writers too. And even though they were writing about violence and this and that, but they were writing about what was happening around them.
Exactly.
This is a prison state.
Exactly.
And you're talking about coming from Compton, and now that I'm out there, I know now.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's no positivity, there's no peace, brother, when the cop pulls a gun on you.
Yeah.
But they didn't learn the other side of the black nationalists. Like we are skilled in defending ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
And we know how to avoid getting ourselves into situations like that.
Yeah.
We know we're not going to be riding around with dope in the trunk and burning and this and that. I'm going to go back to my compound and burn my herb. Exactly. I'm going to be in my circle. If you come run up on us in my circle and I'm not doing anything, then I can defend myself.
Exactly.
If I'm on your turf acting off the law, then I have to get the knee in my back and the treatment that you've been giving me. Exactly. So these are principles that you learn in the movements. Like, yo, man, don't be available for the devil to deal with you.
Come on now.
And that's just real.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep it real. Yeah, no, we're going to keep it real. Yeah.
That's realness.
And so I'm going to read something to you.
Please.
I'm going to read, okay? Now, just for context.
Yes.
Iron Maiden by Ghostface Killah contains a sample. Okay, I'm going to give you something real quick.
Okay, please.
That's right. I got to take him off of here because there's only one and that's me. You understand?
Yes.
For all that fighting, you understand? Sucker think he good. Sucker think he can whoop me. And I knew he couldn't whoop me. Hey, boy, the nigga whole style is chump. Now,
yes.
All of the hip hop fans who want to know, I know,
right,
about the education of Sonny Carson, but you have a very unique tie to the actor. Yes. That gave that classic hip hop sample line. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I didn't know he did that. That's deep for me. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The thing about
Ghostface.
The thing about education of Sonny Carson, I didn't have to watch that movie over and over because all of the people that were in it were in our circle.
Yeah.
So they would talk about behind the curtain of that all the time, where I never had to really absorb the film.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like some of the people in that circle, like when we were reading books about Malcolm, there were people that had met Malcolm, hung out with him, built with him, that can tell me a different side that a book couldn't cover.
Yeah.
So even with that film, I couldn't connect.
The legend lives on, though.
Yes, it does.
Like, because I think that sample's been used in hip hop like over and over again.
Yeah, but you know, Sonny Carson was a powerful dude. He inspired FTP for me.
Yeah.
You know, it was him who sparked the terminology FTP, and then I wrote it out as a song and expanded on the moment that we were in. We were at a riot, sitting in his car.
What?
And we had regrouped because I don't know if it was like a maybe Eleanor Bumpers or Gavin Cato rally that we were protesting or whatever. So we got into the car, all the security's around. He said, brother, he's an FTP. I said, FTP? The F the police. And I said, wow, that's lingo. I mean, that's slang auditorial to me, like, all right, let's go.
As
so
an MC, you're like,
I'm like,
right.
Because I didn't want to say F the police where I don't respect the order.
Right.
All right? Because I depend on you to protect the community in a place where it's legal for you to carry a gun.
Exactly.
When
Your
I
tax
carry
dollars
one,
at work.
yeah, really, I have to conceal mine. You get to walk out openly and say, get out of here, move around, do whatever. So I have to respect that. But there are corrupt people who misuse that power. So that was the best way for me to say, okay, FTP, let me kick it. For the ones that are crooked, this is for you. Let me put something in your banana in your tailpipe. So that was the kind of inspiration that Sonny was. I never was a groupie of the film to get with him. I know him through the movement and the order. Yeah. So it was different for me.
Right.
It's just like when people come around me, I don't want them singing lines from my album all the time. We rolling in the streets, somebody say,
Yeah.
People in Atlantis. And you, my friend, we playing cards or something. African, very African.
I was about to start beatboxing.
You feel me?
No, I wouldn't, but
But it would be off and awkward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we're not being 100 as far as brother to brother.
Definitely.
And I'm trying to play brother and groupie at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like Kool-Aid and milk.
Right.
I can drink it, but
yeah.
You feel me? So I never gave Sonny, hey man, your movie was this, and run a line to him.
Right.
I never did that to him.
But did you all grow up together?
No, I didn't.
Because was it the brother, one of the group members?
Professor X's son.
Oh, okay.
Sonny Carson's son is Professor X.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then PX introduced us to his father in time.
Okay.
We didn't meet Sonny at first because his position in the community is different from what people think. He's not like a film director or something like, hey, this is Sonny Carson.
Yeah.
This is somebody that is difficult to meet.
Yeah. So that performance was legendary.
Yes, indeed. And I'm going to look that up. But that's deep that you follow the bars like that. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. I respect that. I respect that.
I appreciate it. And so I wanted to ask about, I got a chance to listen to some of your new music.
Okay.
And can you talk a little bit about the tone? It's still Brother J.
Yes.
But the tone has changed a little bit to kind of like fit more of what's going on right now.
Well,
and so can you talk about your new
now some of the songs
music?
that y'all are listening to were from an era of 2004 to 2010.
Okay.
So if you heard Prison with Christian Scott, I did that on a label named Suburban Noise. Now the Culture United song I did with Damian Marley,
yeah,
those songs are like 10 years old.
Wow.
I have at least 3 albums done from that time. Like I said, when I got insulted that they didn't even have a category for me, I just started stuffing my catalog until I can build the brand that I want. And it takes time to build. If I'm saying I want a Conscious Def Jam or something like that, it takes time to build a brick and mortar label.
Yeah.
I can go on here and just fake and say, hey, here's my label, come to my YouTube page. But my people are programmed to say, hey, are you really up? Are you really a business?
Right.
So you got to attend that if you want to keep a consistent sale.
Yeah, the game has changed.
Correct. So I had 2 albums, Return from Mecca and Mainstream Outlaws, that I did. I did songs with Bun B, Tech 9,
wow,
Damian Marley, Jurassic 5, Charlie Tuna, Supernatural, Freestyle Master.
Wow.
There's all kind of songs on there that I went into the Suburban channel. I toured over there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the grid of urban music.
No, but and then that's the thing. Like I've heard of a lot of rappers going to Europe.
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Amsterdam and Germany and stuff. And
I was stubborn. I wanted to stay here because the fight for what I'm talking about is
it's
here.
Right here. These people.
Okay.
Descendants.
And then when we get when there's 2 or 3 of me here, then I can go. Let's go overseas.
Yeah.
And start to rile up the next lyricist on that side, because I want to see some of these international MCs who have these issues as well.
Yeah.
The system is corrupt.
But it just shows your heart. It's not always about the money.
It's not.
That statement really shows your heart and what you're committed to.
Yes, I'm here to be 100% honest to you. Yes.
Listen, hip hop fans, like the real hip hop fans. I mean, the ones who were hip hop fans before it became mainstream to be hip hop when it was still. A speakeasy, I guess. But we understand what it means.
Yes.
To be that committed. Like we used to say that, he's down.
Yes.
Like that shows how down you are.
I love it for real. I didn't want to go and just jump overseas. I said, look, y'all going over there.
It's bigger than
It's bigger than that. You're going over there to state. I'm stating about community issues and things in America that we need to fix. So I'll go overseas and say and state these things for what?
Right.
Go over there and say, yo, I'm a dope MC. What do I get for that?
Our tribe is here.
Okay, when I go over there, I'm going to be like, look, I got a story to tell. We started a movement in America. It's going strong. Does anybody over here feel like that? I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Correct. So, I'm waiting for my time. And when that invitation comes, I want to bring some powerful stuff over there. They've been trying to come to me, with offers that way. But my thing was, I want to bring Pharaoh Monch with me.
I want to
bring
Monch.
Wise Intelligent with me.
Oh my God, I love.
All right,
Wise
he has new
Intelligent.
material that people are not even acknowledging. His chopping skills was dope in 94, 92, and they give it up to Bone Thugs and Tech 9 and all this other thing. Wise Intelligent is a dope chopper.
He's incredible.
Okay, and he would be perfect for this time frame. Rock, I just did a show with her.
Yeah.
Last year, my pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And she reminds me of what ISIS would be. And look, she's not in the top status of females, but she's the only one doing what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So that would be an example of how ISIS
level
would suffer
with it.
in the mainstream right now.
You know, she would murder the game.
Yeah, real deal.
If she felt like, if she wanted to.
But there's no game to murder
There's
for
no
them.
game to
There's
murder
no
for
platform
them.
to stand on.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
And that's a fact. And so, Brother Jay, how can supporters find you on social media?
I have an XClan Worldwide on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
My Bro J XClan page is my personal page, but I do my music business from XClan Worldwide, and that's what I've been promoting as of late.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And Brother Jay, thank you.
Oh, it's been an honor,
so
Goddess.
much for being on the Queen's
You and
Address.
your husband, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
excellent
thank you
works,
so much.
man.
We genuinely appreciate you.
Yes.
We genuinely appreciate what you did for the culture and all your contributions to hip hop.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you at the Black Expo this weekend. It's getting ready to be lit.
I'm excited.
We're so excited, and so thank you so much.
Thank you, Goddess. I respect you much.
And
Peace to
thank you.
everyone. Blessings.
Thank you for tuning in to the Queen's Address. Peace King, Peace Queen.